thank you for listening to the song. I thank the people for joining. So first and foremost, I want to start off this week with the big ups. As always, we have a new brand team. Yeah. So one big up the people from Myrtle Beach. You understand? The massive and crew from out there in South Carolina, the Camelot crew. Big up yourself, Dwayne. Big up yourself, Donald, and big up yourself, Maurice. And you don't know, so we want big up Junior from Tatula. And you don't know, each and every week him there and him locking with me. We want to big up the Westmoreland crew. We want to big up Maurice from over there in the Virgin Island. We want to big up Chocolate, my baby mother, because we can't come on here and when I do them big up thing here, we forgot her. You understand? You know, I stood up back a throw inside here. I want to big up to the new listeners them. I want also big up to the new followers them. I want big up to Sam. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Girl, I love you from the Mix Up crew. You're just always locking and tuning. I don't know if Kaden is out here today, but big up yourself, girl. Kimai. Oh God, Queenie, big up yourself. And if I keep on big up people, I'm not done. But I'm not left without big up my mother. I'm not left without big up Father God. I'm not left without big up the Prime Minister. I'm still not left without big up the school. You understand? Because it's a hard time we have to go through right now in terms of online learning. And I knew that I talked to you guys before I left. Last week before, because last week I was sick, guys. Don't buckle me down, don't push me down. I am just coming out of that sickness because apparently I went to the country all nice and goofy and then came back with a cold, and that cold escalated and it gave me asthma attack. So nobody throw nothing over here and say, oh, sure, all lie you tell because a corona you get. No, girl, no boy, bye girl, bye boy. I did not get no coronavirus. I just get a little flu. So I'm going to go into this week's episode. Basically, you don't know, say we still fight against the coronavirus, and we still asking people to be safe, be clean. Please, people, do remember that corona still a go on, and nobody go out there and forgot about social distancing and all of them something there. Wear your mask, carry your sanitizer, because it is getting more serious. I mean, it is very ridiculous. I do not have the idea of the numbers right now, because to tell you the truth, I stopped count, and I know it's not me alone, many of people, because it is so disturbing, and we can't go through facing and having fear, thinking that yes, coronavirus is going to do something to us. No, guys, yes, it might. We have to protect ourselves, but we have to live. We have to be able to adjust and adapt to the new society of the new norm, which is living with corona and going to school online. I mean, for me, it is still a little bit challenging. However, since the last discussion that I had with you guys, when I was saying that the teachers, teachers are coming on board now, and more teachers are getting involved with what is going on, and it is very, important that the teachers, we understand as parents that the teachers have other roles and responsibilities. So they have their children that they need to send to school. Their teachers, they have to use devices, and then their child have to use devices. So I'm just asking people to be lenient, or just the word I'm looking for right now is just way over the top of my head, but just be understandable in whatever it is that we're doing in terms of the online reading. And as I spoke before, we have to be very careful when we're doing the online classes, because you are exposed, you are being exposed in an environment, especially if the child is using a video camera, and if it is important for the class, then have the child know how to turn on and off the camera and on and off the audio. So if they think that they're in a in an uncompromised position and they want to, feel a little bit more comfortable, then it would be best for them to just basically turn that camera off, turn that audio off. And I mean, if you're not using your audio, you're not having any, you're just listening in on the discussion, and you're not doing much thing, then it would be best to turn that audio off. And we do understand that the challenge is coming from, based upon the fact that children wasn't, many children, even though they were computer intellect, we as parents were not teaching them certain things. And even before my child could understand, I remember teaching him how to use an email. I remember teaching him how to put a subject in that email, because now he's understanding the importance of what an email was, something that I've been trying to teach him for years ago. Excuse me, guys. I'm still battling with the flu, so just bear with me. For this week, topic, I want to just go into, disappointment. What is a disappointment? Living with disappointment. How is being disappointed? How do you handle that situation? And I just want to, in doing so, I want to share a personal experience of mine with you guys. And I've been, as I said, I've been battling with the flu, and been trying to set up myself in certain areas in ensuring that I have, stability and comfortability. And here it is. When I woke up on Monday morning, I went inside my car, and somebody just apparently took out the battery, because they saw it fit to take out a car battery out of somebody's car, and a car that was parked in between like 4 or 5 cars. So I'm saying to myself, is this a disappointment, or is this something? I definitely know that it is a setback for me, and what I could have done with the money, now I have to be considering to do this when I could have been doing that with that money. And I know that you guys must have been experiencing the same thing. Maybe not in the case of somebody stealing something from you, but I know that you have been disappointed in some way or some other since 2020. The year itself is a disappointment, guys. And if you have to be true and frank to me, then you can say, if you can be true to yourself, then you can say this. 2020 somewhat has been a disappointment, because we have been looking for greatness. We have been saying to ourselves, yes, 2020 is the year. And some of us has been saying from before even 2000 that 1998 is the year. And how do you deal with these disappointments? I'd say that you should not let today's disappointment cast a shadow on tomorrow's dream. And this is a quote. I don't know who said this, but is from the research that I've done, it was unknown. So, again, don't let today's disappointment cast a shadow on tomorrow's dream. So, I have dreams for myself of going places, but I'm not going to let this disappointment of someone stealing a battery get to me. I am not going to let my ego lead me astray, so I can say, try to build an argument. I would just look at it and say, everything happens for a reason. Right? Everything happened for a reason. And for me, disappointment is one of life's most, uncomfortable feeling. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend as if, oh yes, I'm disappointed and I don't feel anything. No, I'm not going to do that. For it, this having disappointment feeling, it is complex, and it fuels a sense of emotion, like anger, like hurt. You're sad, and probably being, some people, when they are disappointed, they're at a point where they're trying to figure out, they're in identity crisis, because they're asking themselves now, they're being led at a point where they have to now be asking themselves, what am I doing, who am I doing, who am I, is what I'm doing enough for me and for everybody else around me? But you have to know yourself, and when these emotions come up, as people, we have to know what it is that we need to do. Sometimes these emotions by themselves, are easier to deal with, but the disappointment itself, when you sit down and you look into yourself and you say, boy, that's what get us off, and this is what cause, the issue of psychosis, people getting mad. This is what caused these stuff, the disappointed feeling where you go into a depression mode. We have to, take ourselves out of that. In this case, I might not be sure whether or not how I should feel. I'm just flustered with a lot of different feelings. As I said, it don't move. If you don't let it move, it stays there and it just nig you. It just think in the back of your head. You keep thinking about it. You're like overthinking again. You put a perspective or even a timeline on your life to say, all right, this is what's happening. So I'm gonna talk about a few steps that I found. A few steps. I did not identify these steps, but I found them, that they've worked for me and they might work for you, and they can help you genuinely to get past the feeling of disappointment. All right, so in most cases, we cannot have the problem and continue to keep it inside. We have to let out that problem. We have to, in order to solve something, we have to be able to find the problem, find the solution. So one of the hardest things to do in the world is everything is right now. You need it right now, and it has to happen right now. And if it doesn't happen right now, this is what it is going to happen. We put ourselves under so much pressure sometimes into making things happen. And I can tell you that in most cases, when we're putting ourselves under this pressure, in most cases, what is happening is that the person that we're putting ourselves under the pressure for doesn't need something as badly as we need it. Have you heard the story? Blessings to the people that just join in on the Facebook Live, to the people them that passing through. As again, share, and continue to share the Comic with Chat show. And I hope you guys find it very amazing and awesome. And this topic that we're dealing with this week is disappointment, right? And with the first one is letting out that disappointment, not putting so much stress on yourself, and the whole of that is like a bubble. You put yourself in a bubble. How do you get yourself out of that bubble? You have to be able to let the time pass, and utilize the resources that you have in order to make yourself better, in order to experience the feelings that you are going through better, right? So if it is a case that right now, like my battery, how did I feel? Literally, me cry, because it's like me, I said to myself, say, boy, try to step up in a life, and there is somebody out there that instead of being happy for you, they're trying to break you down. So I had to cry, but what did I do after I cried? I made a statement. I lift up myself and I said, listen, the best solution is, to park the vehicle inside of the yard. That's the solution that I came up with. What would be the solution that you come up with for your problem? The feeling that I had felt for that time, I had now put it into, something constructive in order for me to move forward. And even at the most difficult time, when me I grieve and all of them something there, we we are me, you, me, everybody. We can't just sit down on a wall for weeks. We can't take time off from work because we have to eat, we have to feed our children, we have to pay our bills, and like me, I have to go road because my job is not at home. My job is in the street. So what do I need to do? Is it that I'm going to start to take a taxi, or is it that I'm going to invest in another battery? There are so many questions to be asked. Yes, I am disappointed. Yes, I might pray bad for the person that stole it as well, because I am just a human being. I am not Jesus Christ. So I do not expect and hope that somebody will hold me in the highest esteem where I will not have a bad prayer for you. Me I go pray bad. I hope and pray, but I'm not going to do it over here. I'm just telling you that within those feelings, within those times, these feelings can come up. Give yourself a little time. I remember when I lost my job, long before I started up the Comic with Chat show, I said to myself that, self, I'm going to cry tonight. Because I'm a crybaby. Yeah, I know this. I'm going to cry tonight. And I'm going to drink 2 beer. And I don't want to eat no food. But just I go cry. I'm a goodly cry for the weekend too. And it happened to me when I first sat the project management exam. And I failed. I cried miserably. You understand? Because I was disappointed. Studying for so long. Working in a company for so long. Investing all of my time. And then I said to myself, listen now. It's time to go back to the drawing board. I need what I need right now is to basically move forward. And in order for me to move forward, I need to know what to do. So I started up the Comic with Chat show. And I said, boy, I'm going to do some vlogs. I'm going to do radio production. At the same time, I'm going to be involved with Live Well Jamaica, who taught and gave me education in social media marketing, radio production, radio hosting, all of those stuff. I had to sit down, let out, give myself time to be able to want and take on some of these tasks onto myself. I spent the time to go back, reiterated, and went back to school where I did film production. It's a process, guys. It is a process that you want to follow. It is a process that you want to sit and think about. Every disappointment can't be for a reason. Every disappointment does not mean it is a failure. It means that you have to sit down, let out. Sit down, let out. Don't be afraid to let out. No, don't be afraid to let out. Give yourself some time and move on from there. Like children, they throw tantrum, them scream, them bawl, and them laugh, and them do all of these things at the same time until it runs out, and them genuinely I go move on, because it's a 2-year-old, a 32, and a 3, they are different. So the suggestion that is said is that we might lock ourselves away, for a couple of weeks at times. We have been disappointed, boo hoo hoo, but to be aware of the sense of obligation is to basically just, as I quote right now, just get over it. Get over that depression. Get over that mood. Find a way how to solve your problem. Genuinely, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling without anything in mind, anything in thoughts, without even trying to speed up the process. Just go through that disappointment mode. Whatever you're feeling, it is okay. Don't let nobody tell you that you're a boy. Don't let nobody tell you that you're a girl, you're a baby. No. Feel what you want to feel. It is your heart. It is yourself. You are a human being, and we are entitled to be disappointed. Right? Want to talk to me? Want to send me a message in the comment section, because I don't know, some I can't take any calls right now, but I still can take text. So you send me a text on the WhatsApp at 876-837-4570, or you can just leave a text in the comment section on Facebook, and I'll see that and respond to you. All right, so we genuinely experience emotion no matter how painful it is. We in some way you can look at it as a beauty of life, because if we weren't alive, then we wouldn't have feel these kind of feelings, disappointed and fail and all of these things. So don't try to get away from these moments. Try to live with them and see how you can change them and be present in them. Don't ignore them. Genuinely, yeah, for the second one, you have to get some perspective. The wonderful thing about letting it out is that you have, given yourself time. You have given yourself time to feel. You have said to yourself, I care about you. I care about this situation, and this is the reason why I feel the way I feel. I want to allow myself to feel what I need to feel in order to push, or in order to find out what I'm capable of. I wonder if you're following me over here, because let me repeat that again. I want to be able to push myself in order to find out what I am capable of. I always have a story to back up a story. So when my sister just left Jamaica and went overseas to live, she did not have a bank account. Well, yes, she did have a bank account, but she did not have an ATM card. What she would do is send that money to, and I'm talking about 10 or odd years ago, many years ago. She would send that money to Jamaica. The money that she worked from Cayman, she would send it to Jamaica. And when she sent it to Jamaica, she would ask our mother or somebody to lodge that money for her. No, in her time of needs, when she was broke, never had the money to this and never had the money to do that, if she had had an ATM card or a way to get into that account, being in America, well, you know how things have evolved over the past years, so you can do these things now, but back then it was very difficult. You'd have to come back a yard, draw your money and put it in our bank account, or put it, well, I don't go foreign, so I don't know these things, but I'm saying because she did not have another option, she found her way through America. Well, no, it's not America, Cayman, my apologies. She found her way through Cayman. She thought about the cash that she had and was saving in Jamaica, right? She found her way and she made it happen. And if she did not push herself, she would not know what she was capable of. Following me, people? Well, I hear somebody say you have a lot of things under your belt, Empress. And my future husband over here a big me up. So I see all of them something there, but I don't not join in pan the live and tell me when me want to know for tell. All you not send out a big up sound of love. Once you find out what you're capable of, you have treated yourself, treat yourself like certain things, and allow yourself time and space to experience these feelings of disappointment. Once you have done that, it basically becomes easier. It becomes easier for you to go throughout life. Boy, the rain start falling, all these things. After you give yourself space to feel, you'll be able to give the situation to other individuals. You'll be able to share and get them involved. So you'll no longer have the problem for yourself, and you'll have room to breathe. All right. The person who feel disappointed right now and doesn't even realize that that something gets them upset, or what gets them upset. Maybe somebody is so stressed out and don't have the emotional bandwidth, as them say, to think about it, because they aren't allowing themselves time to experience the emotion. So this is why I continue to reiterate, give yourself time to express, to explore these feelings, to feel these feelings, giving yourself space to be, as prepared as possible, to allow the same to happen to other people, because we have to live in, we a lot of us are living in a world of expectations, and they think that this cannot happen to me or this cannot happen to you. But in life, disappointment can happen to everyone. Small axe chop big tree. Never underestimate nobody. You know, having a broader of perspective that, than your own. Somebody who gives you advice in a particular situation. Somebody who gives you constructive criticism and advice that are helpful. Them now rush you and all of these things, and them now say, boy, you forget this and you forget that. Fine. That's the kind of friend you want to share and get some perspective on the matter that you're dealing with, and just listen to them and see what they'll say. So as a person, you should know yourself, know your heart. Disappointment can ripple, through to the core of who you are. It can turn you into something that you're not. It can make you bitter. If you don't know what your core values are as a person, you may not have, the support to the support. Let me try and say, I can say that you might not have, the mindset to support the experience of these negative emotions. We're human beings. Allow yourself to go through positive and negative emotions. Allow yourself to move forward from those emotions. When somebody disappoint me and I feel like withdrawing or closing off, I remember who I am. I remember what I serve for. I remember my purpose. I make a choice after pause and then start again. I wish to have a big old open heart, as me say, but you disappoint me, so me I go through my feelings and me I go call you all different kind of dirty things, and it might not be right in the sight of man and God, but I am going to do it because I am going through my feelings. I am going through the emotion of being disappointed over and over again. Do I do like the madman them who walk by my road and cuss the man them and say, this a man you do this and that the man they do that? Him head sick, him mad, him gone. No. I have to remember my core value as a person, or I will be lost in the dark. The negative feelings are just feelings, and they too, like everything else, shall pass. Do I choose to remain open-hearted, or do I choose to follow the easier instinct and close off? And when I become closed off and I start to isolate myself from everything and everyone and get withdrawn, no, I have another problem. I have a problem of depression, not a problem of only disappointment. And then I might stop eating, so I might have a health problem, and one thing happens, feed off of another. Knowing your heart and your values give you the freedom to make choices, and make stupid choices and make good choices, right? Knowing who you are gives you that. You can choose to be driven. You can choose to be workless. You can choose anything at all, because whatever you choose, it's happening to you. Or you can choose your core value. You can choose yourself, right? All right. But still, I look for the comments them over upon the, the Facebook and over upon me text message. Still looking for the comments them. So may I go just go to the WhatsApp line and see if anyone had left a message. Going to the Facebook lines just the same and see what we have here. Remember, guys, this is the program to be, the place to be, each and every Wednesday, right here with me from 5 to 6 p.m. and sometimes even a little bit after 6, because I just love chatting to you so much. And if I start the program late, I definitely want to ensure that you guys have the gist of everything. So I have to big up Star, I have to big up Willow, I have to big up Lex, I have to big up Delian Boss from JCI. So I have to big up all of the JCI members, because them just sending in them big up and them say, oh, big me up, big me up. And me can't do this without bigging up the people them. Because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here on Wednesdays and I wouldn't be enjoying myself and my time with you. So the fourth one, which is the last one before we leave today, is practicing acceptance. It gone already. It happened already. What am I going to do? As humans, even though we know that some things are bound to happen, we don't always accept it. So we're in a relationship with someone and we know that this person is not the person for you, but we try to fix everything according to, to make it happen, to change yourself for someone, and then we not accept. We need to accept. We need to be able to accept the disappointment. Every time I am disappointed, I feel overwhelmed with my emotions. I feel stressed out. I feel beaten up. I feel like I want to just lay in bed and don't get up, because me a human being. What me I talk about, man? So I'm inclined to do whatever it is that I want. And me not gonna blame nobody else for do the same thing. Wanting to wallow in my own disappointment, my test when I fail, my job when I lose, my business when I have to start over, nothing when I go on for 2020, no money when I come in my pocket, my battery with them thief, the car when I crashing, the car when crashing on me is like one big hell of disappointment. And what do I get from that? And where do I go from there? Right? I have to accept that. I have to accept every time. I have to accept that I will continue to be disappointed. I have to accept that things will continue to happen. That is a part of life. Part of being a human being. You ever see a dog or a puss disappointed? Apologies, guys. But talk truth. You ever see a fish disappointed? Try check it. Every day I see my mother come home from work and she checks her, sometimes she walk past the fish them might look like them happy to see her, cause them a run a come, because them used to forget the food. You understand? But I don't know, these creatures don't have feelings, so they don't have a way how to show it. But we are human beings, so we are going to show this feeling of disappointment. So we have to accept that, and we have to accept that this is life, and we have to accept the struggles of life, and we have to accept the points that at point throughout our life we will always have disappointment. It's a lifelong challenge, and fundamentally speaking, it is hard to deal with disappointment, but I will be disappointed. I will disappoint you. You will disappoint me, and you will also be disappointed. Life will be disappointing. Life will be disappointing, but it shall pass. Amen, my brothers and sisters. It shall pass. What am I saying? You're right, Orlando. Orlando said we cannot be prisoners in our own mind. No, we cannot. We have to know how to accept these disappointments. And I'm so loving this topic this week. And I'm so glad that people get to tune in. And I'm so glad that I get to teach you these lesson learns. And you can be able to just look into your daily life at the things that are happening and how you can make changes and make a better life for yourself, for others around you, you will be less disappointed. Practicing acceptance. We may suffer less. Yeah, we may suffer less. But now say R is a sure thing that you will suffer less. But learning acceptance. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, somebody would normally do me and say, I know this would happen. So yeah, it norm. I'm not talking about that form of acceptance. I'm talking about giving yourself a chance to be disappointed. Don't be a prisoner in your own mind. Do not tell yourself that this is going to happen before it actually happened. Allow yourself to be disappointed. Allow yourself to experience the feeling of disappointing and allowing yourself to accept that you have been defeated. You have been disappointed, and I will rise up and move forward. Disappointment is a part of our life, as I said, but all parts of life can help us grow. All parts. And if you said that you do not pay to learn in this life, then you are a liar. Right, my people? If you said that you do not pay to learn, then you are a liar. We pay to learn. We pay to learn. I've got my stuff stolen on jobs. I went to weddings and I did events, and I remember the first event that I did, I remember that I wasn't watching the places, and then I paid to learn because some of the guests, they left with some of the stuff, including glasses that were on the table, including utensils, glassware, stuff that weren't even souvenir. They were just there as centerpiece for the table, things that belonged to me. But how I learned, I knew that I would have to create a contract for prospective clients to be, in order for me to set responsibility, because when you put this responsibility onto somebody else, then they'll be the watchman, they'll be the watch guard for you, because they do not want to pay the extra amount of money for the things that are lost or gone at their event, or things that have been taken at their event. They are going to ensure that they take care of their stuff. They'll have your stuff. They'll have somebody standing guard, because they cannot pay the additional expensive if these things are broken, damaged, or stolen. It's a part of life. We pay for learn, and this help us grow. This helped me grow, my business grow, because now I could have had things and I never had to keep purchasing back these things. We can be at present and aware even in the midst of, and I like that Lukey, positive energy. Even in the midst of it all, we have to overlook the negative emotion, and therefore, therefore we'll be able to live and embrace life fully. So this topic today was on 4 steps of dealing with disappointment. That's how the reality of life is. We can't look down on ourselves. We need to make money. We need to do stuff. One thing that I'm going to leave you with today is the first thing that I started with. Don't let today's disappointment cast a shadow on tomorrow's dream. Live for today and also live for tomorrow. Go through your feelings, go through your sadness, go through all these emotions, and then get out of them. I'm Lamoy McLean, aka Shar Shop, and it has been a wonderful hour I've spent with you today, and I'm so glad that you could spend the time to be here, to be in tune with the program. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.